Hey everybody, just an update on my rower generator. I wanted to kind of walk through a few of the things that I've changed and kind of how I'm using the rower today. So let's go look at some of the things I've done. So I was using this single speed cassette hub, and I found that the chain would pop off once in a while. So I switched it to this 7 speed cassette. So now if the chain drops down one gear, it might get a little harder to pull, but I can still keep on rowing along. And the other thing I did was I had two of these donuts on there. They're 27 or 28 pounds. I just switched it to one. You could probably get away with just the motor itself without the flywheel, or make a wooden one or something just to give a little more momentum. But anyway, the single flywheel seems to work fine. I didn't need that much weight that I had on there before. So then we just come out of the rower, the motor there, and we come into this box that I built. So let me just take a look inside this box. We've got some bigger ultra capacitors. So I got 3 of these big ultra capacitors. I got them wired in series so that they're 16 volts each, so they'll go well over 48 volts. But the rower only, I generally come out about 30 volts or so coming out of the motor. So anyway, we put some juice into these capacitors with the rower, and then we have 2 different charge controllers. I got this charge controller here that's adjustable. I have this other one down here that's a 36 volt input, output's 12 volts, and it connects to these 3 sockets that can charge cell phones and whatnot with. So the main wires come in to this meter, just tell me what the input's coming from the rower, and that's actually the voltage that's in the ultra capacitors right now. They actually hold a pretty decent charge for a while. They'll be there, even if I walked away for a couple weeks, they'd still have probably over 20 volts in there. And then we have the charge controller here. We can set the output for different things. So if I want to charge this battery bank, which I did a similar one to the one I did before, but I stuck a 50 amp hour 12 volt battery in this one with a few sockets in there to charge stuff. So nothing too crazy, a little meter on the top. So then I can just plug into the back of that with the right connectors for the Anderson power pole and the banana connectors there, and I can hook those 2 together and I can charge that battery bank. But what I've been doing lately is actually using this grid tie inverter. So I take the grid tie inverter and I drop it into here, and then I take this over here, plug it in the wall, and then what I can do is when I'm rowing is I can actually put power into that grid tie inverter and put power onto the grid. So this will work for a couple of seconds without me rowing, because there's still voltage in those capacitors, and so you'll see this start to crank up. Of course, and it's turned on. Okay, so there you go. Start throwing some watts into the grid tie inverter. You can see it's sucking in 8800 watts right now. So I'd have to start rowing here to get this to actually keep going. But anyway, let me turn this off so that this doesn't run the capacitors all the way out. But anyway, so that's how I'm using it today. I find that if I go about 100 watts or so on the rower or on the charge controller there, it's a pretty good workout.